Hello guys, welcome to this little video I'm gonna make telling a story about my life, about the first, how I got diagnosed with schizophrenia. As you can see in the background, we have some road trip gameplay of GTA 5. It will just run in the background. So, where to start? So, I'm gonna start, uh, well, at where it began to turn wrong for me. My contract ran out with the company I worked with. I worked in a warehouse, um, and after that, I kind of knew that was something wrong with me, and I wanted to have a break from school, from work, from everything, just to try and focus on trying to fix myself. Well, that ended up with me trying to isolate myself for about 6 months, where I just didn't really talk to anyone. I kept to myself. I didn't really do anything. Didn't really move out of my place. I didn't really, what can I say, and I didn't really do anything. Uh, and that kind of changed in December. Um, uh, I knew I was quite sick again. I have been sick in the head before, so I knew the warning signs of when I knew I was not that good. But I had my first psychotic break when I watched a movie called A Beautiful Mind, which was a movie about a college student who didn't know he had schizophrenia, who just went around in his normal life like everybody else and didn't even know there was anything wrong with him. And he later finds out there's something wrong with him and he fights to keep himself sane. But this movie triggered something in me because then I asked a question. I've had voices since I was 13, but I didn't know there were anything wrong with them. I just thought, that's how everyone thinks, like hearing voices in their head. That's just how people think. And I asked myself a question. Uh, are you voices? Are you not me? Are you speaking to me? I just asked a simple question. Like, are you real? And my voices answered me back that they were real. They were not my thoughts. So I had a psychotic break. I went quite mental. I went outside. I took a long walk in the middle of the night. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I began talking to myself very, very loud, and I was all the way. And I ended up in my bathroom, after which I called the emergency line for a doctor. Not 911 or whatever it is in your country, but a doctor, a night doctor, as we have here in Denmark. And I asked my brother to drive me in the middle of the night up to this doctor, and I got in, and I completely went back to, you can say, my old ways of just playing it off cool. There was nothing wrong with me. I just called in saying I was hearing voices. There was just a misunderstanding. And we talked something about my hands and how they maybe meant I would have a heart condition in the future, some shit like that. After that, I was very, very psychotic. I had like psychotic breaks every day. Like I was very psychotic. And nobody really knew about it. Then after like 5 days of straight not sleeping or anything like that, just seeing things that weren't there, having hallucinations and being completely off the rocker, me and my voices came into a pact because we have been together for quite long. So we made a deal that that I was gonna see my old teacher, school principal, because she helped me with my mental problems before. Uh, I don't want to go too far into that, but I showed up at that school because it was December. They were on holidays, so the school was closed down. So I waited for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I really needed to talk to her. So I wrote down everything that was wrong with me, and I quite literally just gave it to her and said, "Read this, tell me if I'm crazy." And she said that I might not be that crazy, I might not have schizophrenia, and there might just be something else wrong with me. But she agreed with me that I had to go to a doctor. Luckily for me, I just switched doctor from some retarded assholes who didn't really help me to a new doctor. So the first time I was seeing them, I took the school principal. She went with me, very sweet lady, and she and me we got in the room. I handed her the piece of paper with all the things on, and she said I should go to the psychiatric psychological hospital, the mental hospital, if you want to say that's a bit easier to say, in my town. So I had a recommendation to go out there. At this point, I knew now I should probably tell somebody, right? And I did. I told my best friends, we joked around with it a bit, because that's how my friends are. Can't really take anything seriously. And when I got home, because I helped a friend move the same day, I thought about telling my brother, but he wasn't home, so I just went up to my mother and told her. And I wanted to keep it secret from my dad because we had some problems. He doesn't really trust me and stuff. I don't want to go into that either. We can go into that at another point. But I told her, and she said I asked her if she wanted to go with me to the mental hospital to be there for me. And she said yes, because I wanted to give her the chance to be my mother. And after that, it was the 3 week break or something before I had to go to the hospital. It's quite common in Denmark that you be set on a waiting list. But I went there, I talked to the people, I told them all about my diagnosis, and not about my diagnosis, about my symptoms and what I had to do, and I answered some questions and did some medical stuff and told them I was not on drugs or something like that. And I got recommended to the schizophrenic clinic they have out there, the specialized clinic. And after that, I got a meeting with those guys. I talked about my symptoms. I told my story, that, all that shit. And after that, I went and got myself I don't know what you would call it in English, like a psychiatrist. My doctor, my specialized doctor, my only doctor. Like she was my, I don't even know the word for it. Fuck it. I had a doctor out there, a psychiatrist, and I also got another doctor, not a psychiatrist, but a doctor who prescribes me medicine and stuff like that. And I had some couple of talks with her. I got on some medicine. The medicine didn't really work for me. It was Abilify I was on. I took very low doses because it had a very bad effect on me. It was like running a marathon twice a day, feeling like you had no energy, but you had ADHD and you had to do something all the time. It was very, very bad experience for me. Luckily, after some time, we switched over to another medicine, Invega, which is also a psychotic medicine, which I'm on right now. And that's how I got my diagnosis of schizophrenia. I can get into what you would say, how I got it, my total story, from point A to B. How did I get here? I will talk about all my traumas in a later video. If you want me to talk about it, just leave a comment and I will oblige you. Thank you for listening to me and have a nice day.